Welcome to Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas. Backed by popular demand is the intrepid Drake Bailey for another question and answer session. You may want to make some popcorn and buckle your seatbelt. This one will be another wild ride. Here is your host, Gail of Gaia, with her guest, Drake Bailey.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Welcome, all you beautiful souls. And thank you to everyone who has sent any amount, any donation whatsoever. I really appreciate that. I do have a developing new website where I am uploading my videos to preserve them in case YouTube decides to give them the dump. So thank you, everyone. And today, of course, we have Drake Bailey. Hi, Drake. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing finers. I'm still just as crazy as I've always been, so, whatever.
That's what everybody loves about you.
Oh, me? That I'm crazy? Well,
well, I wouldn't say
I don't know
crazy,
if it's contagious. I don't know if it's contagious or not, but it could be extraordinarily interesting.
Yes, indeed. So what have you got for us? Anything new and interesting that's on the boilerplate?
Oh, yeah. There's been a lot of people know that there's been a lot of civil rights stuff going on since Hobby Lobby won their suit.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
This sort of thing to, and overrule our religious convictions. So, Chick-fil-A was being kept out of airports, and it was something similar to the Hobby Lobby deal, and the FAA decided to allow them to enter all of the airports. Now, what this is doing is, and this is critically important to a whole bunch of people, especially black people who have had their rights stomped on, people like Hobby Lobby and Chick-fil-A, people of that nature, are securing a portion of our basic God-given rights.
Yay!
So they're winning, and it's a big deal. It's like Muhammad Ali was known as a boxer, and everybody watched him fight and all this other stuff. But irrespective as to everything else, his biggest victory came outside the ring. A lot of people ain't aware of this. And what it deals with is the religious objection to serving in the military. Supreme Court ruled in his favor. So if you have a religious problem, whatever it may be, he won on the he won after Cassius Clay turned into Muhammad. Okay, for the simple fact that his beliefs did not allow him to go kill people for political or religious others' idea of his lack of religious importance. And they kept hammering away, and finally he won. And that is another huge victory. Now, the thing I got for everybody, if you need help with it, get in touch with me. Now, here's how you do that. Gail has a question email site. You can get in touch with her. She'll get in touch with me, and I'll get in touch with you. Now, here's how it goes. You got all this horse hockey with Black Lives Matter. Well, apparently it doesn't matter too much to the people that are involved in it, for the simple fact that they haven't done diddly squat to preserve their friggin' rights. Oh, they write real good and tear stuff up and all that, but you take that same energy, get in touch with me. I'll give you the legal parameters, and you can blast some people out of the offices that they hold.
Like the woman who served everybody in Palm Beach County. That was great.
Well, yeah, I think it'd be cool if they put a firecracker under certain judges' posteriors and lit that mother.
Yeah, so many of them are not acting in conjunction with the Constitution.
Well, there's a lawsuit now by Judicial Watch against the Supreme Court for
Ooh.
overstepping their bounds in terms of, now you're gonna love this, legislating from the bench. They went and included a bunch of stuff in the Equal Rights 1964 Civil Rights Act. They added a bunch of stuff, and they do not have the authorization, power, or position to do that. Period. Now, what they can do is they can instruct the legislators to get off of their tired duffs, get something done, but that has to be legislated.
Well, yeah, our Congress has been sitting on their butt, not doing what they
And
should do. And,
ET is going crazy. They just can't hardly stand it. We're getting closer and closer to all of our situations going pop. And I just know that quantum shockwave that certain people put together and shot out for everything will level the playing field considerably suddenly. Now, I have been watching very closely and kept my ear to the ground about what it is that everybody's looking at. And Barr is ready to go. He has everything he needs to put the zap on a lot of people. Guess when it's supposed to happen? Just after the election. Ooh.
Do you know why there has to be a reason why they're waiting until after the election to do any of these prosecutions? Could you explain that?
Well, yeah. The investigator has a load of information. Barr wants to be absolutely sure that it's in the correct order, done correctly, and is proper for not having any problems winning the lawsuits. In other words, there's a load of indictments, some of which are going to be arrests because of the crime committed. And he's not saying who, but he said 1,000 of them. Now, you think about rounding up 1,000 people scattered all over the country, and you get an idea as to the logistics problem. Wow, man, we're going to need more federal marshals, and So
are we talking about political people, or are we talking about celebrities?
We're talking about several people in concerns with political positions, and if they do the job right, they'll find that the people that support these actions also are guilty, and that's insurrection, supporting insurrectionists, obstruction of justice, anything you can think of.
So that's like being complicit.
Yeah, well, I've been trying to get him for years to put out an international arrest warrant for George Soros.
I know.
He thinks it's fun to play games with our country, and I don't think it's so freaking funny. Now, if I found out he was visiting here somewhere, I probably would go down and visit him with a bullet.
Okay.
I'll make sure he wouldn't go anywhere. And that does not mean I'm going to kill him. It just means that I probably will shoot low and injure him in such a fashion that his wheels don't work too well.
Well, he has done so much damage and caused so much trouble in this country. It's not even funny. In fact, he could be indirectly, I guess, just because he's not the one there doing the fire burning. He is the one that paid the people to do it.
Yeah, and he does so indirectly, sends funds to different organizations that are supposedly tax exempt. This is the Fraternal Order of Marxists or whatever.
Yes, indeed. Do you know the Fraternal Order of Police have just issued that they all will support Trump? Small wonder.
Yeah. Well,
I would too. It's like your life is on the line.
He's supporting them, so we got good news coming. I mean, like I said, some of the reaction to that quantum shockwave is pretty immediate. Some of it takes a little while. I would be more than happy to see everything hit the fan right after the election. Oh, that would make my day.
Yeah, it would. You know, I just read an article of somebody, I believe it was in LA somewhere. There were two sheriffs sitting in their car, and some guy came up and just shot him in the head. Or
Hmm.
shot him a bunch of times, and I guess they're still alive, but they're in critical condition. I mean, what the heck? What is wrong with people? That is just so disgusting. It's disgusting.
Well,
Um,
here's the thing. If you're going to be in and this has become a war zone, if you're going to be in a friggin' war zone, act like it. One person does paperwork or plays on the computer or whatever while the other one keeps watch. Just that simple. Somebody starts walking up toward the car. Uh, the person watching should already have their gun out. Think about this very carefully. You see what happened to these guys, okay? One of them should already have their gun out. Now, this is standard military procedure. Yeah, one guy watches while the other guy does things, okay? Bingo. That means that this turkey wouldn't have got close enough to be able to aim that well, and he probably would have got shot as soon as he pointed a gun at the police.
yeah,
So,
it's amazing that he could even get away with that, really.
yeah, well, they got better picture. They have a system that clarifies those grainy security camera videos, and I mean it's pretty good. It doesn't come out as clear as what we got here, but it comes out clear enough to make an identification. So
That's good because I
the
hope they get that guy. That just makes me
I
so.
can think of a bunch of things to do to him when they catch him.
That and the picture that I saw of the people in the forest areas in Washington and Oregon who have gas cans and uh, Antifa flag, okay,
They should
starting
shoot him on sight.
fires.
Shoot him
My
on
God,
sight.
you think the animals that have
Yeah,
died
well, they don't.
in a horrible, suffering manner, the people that have been trapped, the houses that have been ruined, the forests which take years upon years to
Yeah,
grow?
well, did you hear about the two policemen, the end of the story?
No, I don't
Oh,
think so.
BLM and their buddies blocked the emergency entrance to the hospital.
Oh my God, you're
If it
kidding.
was me, I'd be dropping them.
Oh
At
yeah.
that point, and they were hollering death to the cops. I hope you die and all this stuff. So
Didn't anybody
me,
take care of that? Didn't
uh,
anybody do anything?
they ought to be glad I wasn't there. I'd take care of it all right. They'd be having trouble standing up or walking or whatever.
That's unbelievable. That is
Yeah.
that is so cruel. It's not even
But
funny.
anyway, those are things that are going on geopolitically on the surface. What's going on upstairs is the ET's getting really excited because of the quantum wave, some of the effects it's having, and the fact that we're going to attend to business almost immediately. That has them real enthusiastic and all excited. Now, if you can imagine one of them funny-looking ETs having a laughing fit, then or whatever they do. I've seen a couple of them laugh, and it's pretty funny.
They probably think it's funny when you laugh.
Oh, they do. But anyway, they're like I said, they are really excited because as the time lessens between now and the time of the transition, the shorter that time gets, the more excited ET's going to get, and it's just good. You're liable to see some of them ET aircraft doing loop-de-loops and all kind of silly stuff. Well, seriously.
I've seen some pictures of some pretty huge crafts over different places, more than one place, actually.
Were they the
Huge,
size of a state?
just about. I mean,
Okay.
they were big, really
Those
big.
are either cargo or transport ships, one of the two. The numbers of ETs upstairs is dramatically increasing for the simple fact that they're going to have a lot of people delivering those care packages. So they're getting it. They know it's close, and they're getting ready, and they're excited, just like little kids at Christmas or something.
It's always fun to give gifts.
So what do you got in the way of questions, lady?
Okay, we'll move right on to the questions then. All right. Okay, here's a question that someone asked a while ago, and I never got to it, so I'll let you answer it. What will be the lifespan of dogs in 4D?
Everything's lifespan will increase exponentially, just like ours will. So your favorite pet is apt to be able to be around for quite a while.
Okay. In 4D, will our past loved ones and animals be part of our lives for 1,800 years? I guess that was
No,
kind of, okay.
no. The people that have passed, they go from 3D to 4D. Okay, they get instructed and move on to 5. The interesting thing about it is that they are there, and if you study my books, you'll find out how to contact them. Ha!
Let me say that right now. Your books are on my website, which is under construction, but it is available. And all you have to do is go to gailofgaia.com and you will find Drake's books.
Now, the reason I'm doing all this in terms of the books, the reason I'm wrote them the way that I did and all that is to take somebody that is a novice. Everybody just needs to forget what they think they know and study the books, accomplish what is required of you in the books, like a text, it's like a science book. Hey man, if you put the right things together, we can blow this trash can right up, kind of thing. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to blow your mind, because all of the things that I put in there are so basic that you're going to find out that they work even when you didn't expect them to.
Okay, next question. Will the ETs that deliver the replicators look like Valiant Thor?
The ETs that are supposed to deliver are supposed to be of the same type of humanoid species as Valiant Thor. May not look they probably all look different like we do, but they're going to be more human than not. Now, you're going to see some really, what I consider, ugly ETs.
But first we'll get to see the ones that look more like us, so you don't get freaked out about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what are you going to do if some kind of big old insect that's 9 foot tall shows up knocking on your door? Hey, man, I got a care package. Really? Honey, get the raid. We got a problem. Oh, boy.
Oh, you're... Okay. I got another question. I don't know if you know about this, but I know someone who does, in case you're...
Okay.
The Nazi bell.
What about it?
Okay.
It came back.
Okay. Well, I'm going to read this, okay, because it's kind of interesting. All right. It's a bit of a commentary as well as a question. So, a fairly prominent speaker on Timelines recently wrote about how the Nazi German scientists reversed engineering a flying craft during the 40s, which was called the Bell. It was reportedly meant to be an anti-gravity ship that would win the war for them. However, when they turned it on, this is my part, when they turned it on, they got radiated. But anyway, according to the writer, what the scientists ended up building at a time distortion component, which ET ships are said to have, she says the time distortions created from the Nazi Bell craft still exist today because they opened up a crack which allowed aberrated dark matter to come in, and the resultant energy influenced Nazi Germany to create their brand of cancel culture. She also said the Bell craft was activated and then removed from the coexisting timeline from which it was built. What is your take on this?
Well, everything that has been reported about has been accurate that I've seen so far. The second part of all of it is that, they created a time vortex, but they didn't have a clue as to how to use it. If they had known how to use it, they would have been able to send troops to places before we got there. Ooh.
Well, didn't they have issues? I was under the impression that there were issues when it was activated, which would cause massive radiation and people would be dying on the spot.
No, not exactly.
Well, I'll have to get some more verification from somebody that worked for the Nazi, didn't work for the Nazis, but worked for the German aristocracy.
Okay, what you got to understand is this. The first few times they tried it, it blew up. Boy! And they had to build a new facility and all this happy shit. Every time it blew up, I don't know, 2-3 times, whatever. And they finally figured out what they were doing wrong and adjusted it. Now, the radionics that you're talking about, everybody says radiation. It's not radiation in the true sense of the word. This is radionics, where you have a field that's generated that does things. Okay?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And they've got they built a suit to put a guy in the bell. The only trouble was when they tested the bell the last time, it disappeared. Poof. Okay.
I wonder where that guy went.
Well, no, there wasn't nobody in it, but they raised up about 15 or 20 feet. And as it's described, disappeared in an extraordinarily bright flash of light. Like I said, poof, and it's gone. Okay. It came back, when was it, about 6 months, a year ago, something like that, and crashed into the woods in proximity to where they set it off from. Now, the ideology, the science involved, and all this other happy stuff was never followed up on in a public manner. Bear this in mind. Time travel is not as difficult as people think. It does not take extraordinary amounts of power and all the other stuff that everybody thinks that it does. What happens is that the influence of certain fields directed in a certain manner, both at themselves so that they feed off each other, and the inside of a sphere. Okay, that's like a basketball. Acts as a self-amplifying echo chamber. And they learned a whole bunch of, I've learned all these things. And to be honest, the military really don't like me putting this stuff out, but this is part of the way that the military got their deep space program going. ET got really, really antsy about it and told them to be very careful about whatever they do, because whatever they do, if it ain't to ET's standards, first they'll warn them not to do it again, and secondly, they will vaporize whatever is causing a problem. So ET and there's been at least one major interaction where our deep space program people thought they were all that, and ET proved wrong.
Put them in their place, right?
Yeah. So they fired on an ET flagship. You don't do that, and they were told not to do that. They identified themselves and they shot at them anyway. Well, ET taught them a lesson. The first thing he did was they snatched up the deep space program's flagship and welded it to the side of the big cigar ship they had built. Then they said, oh, and as punishment, deal with this. They took a weapon and they cut the end off the cigar. Now, that kind of screws up things like, breathing. And anyway, so they got the message across. They told them that if they ever did anything like that again, they'd vaporize the whole friggin' project.
See, that's one of the problems with us going into space, is that we don't act. We think we can be all aggressive and take or go wherever we want, and it's all occupied, and you need permission.
I think somebody said something about occupation. He pulled out a rifle and he said, "Get off my lawn."
Yeah, and that's how it is out in space. But
yeah, so if it's pretty simple. Their technology is way in advance of us. We are in the Stone Age. Even when we use their technology, we're still in the Stone Age. And you're true. You're exactly right. ET has stipulated that we need a major attitude adjustment, let's say, before we go fooling around too much.
Yeah. Anyway, too big for our britches.
Yeah. Oh, I'm all that. Look at me, What about you, man? How about go get a life or something?
Okay, here's the next question. We have another little commentary. Sometimes the questions aren't straight up, but I'll read it anyway, just for the sake of. It's a pretty good question anyway. It says, I am gravely concerned about the implications for the pharmaceutical companies rushing out the, I'm going to call it a wackadoodle for the number 19 problem. Okay. I hear the wackadoodles will apparently be administered with the help of electroporation, which is where an electric current is used to open up the cell membrane so that chemicals or DNA can be introduced into the patient's cells. It's actually a messenger RNA, which will rewrite DNA. But anyway, there seems to be an ET implication here. One prominent speaker on ET subjects has suggested that part of the reason for ET being able to assist or intervene for Earth is because the DNA genetic links between us and various ET races, or that is because of the various ET races that are in our genetics, would genetically modifying wackadoodles have the capacity to remove genetic links to ET to the point where they no longer have a mandate to assist us. And there's
No.
misinformation there.
And first of all, I'm not going to let the government fool around with my brains. I got enough problems without them getting their dirty skinners in there and mixing the pot. But here's the deal. Several in the medical field that I have had reports from have stipulated very simply that none of the vaccines has squat to do with C-19. Each and every last one of them is loaded with nanobots.
Yes.
So that we can be turned into Mr. Machine. That's crap.
Exactly.
Well,
and all
I'm
the
not
smart dust.
going to take it for that reason. I'm going to wait and see if there's a semi-mechanically acting people walking funny around the streets. And if I see that, and I'm all, well, first time, did you get vaccinated? Oh, yeah, I got vaccinated.
Well, I have talked to genetic experts, and that particular injection will cause permanent changes in human DNA because the RNA rewrites DNA, and that will go on for generations.
Ooh, welcome to the machine.
Exactly, and that's what they're setting humanity up for. And I do not consent.
They've been trying to put us into transition on that basis since forever. And the problem with it is that I don't know if anybody wants to turn into Mr. Robot.
I sure don't. I don't like that transhumanism stuff. Forget it. No, thank you. Okay, here's the next question. If the ETs can't or won't help, and we the people have to clean up the mess, I would like to know where we the people can get a hold of some ET technologies that would cause the politicians and mainstream media to speak the truth or confess their crimes every time they got in front of a camera. Let's give them some truth serum, okay?
Well, there's some new requirements coming, and you'll love them. Now, if you really want an answer to that, it's real simple. All of the news stations are going to have to follow WGN out of Chicago. They're putting out a straight up news channel, and all it presents is news. No opinions, no politics, no bullshit. And I'm waiting for that to come out so I can watch it. I'm really, because of what I know, I'm really curious if they finally did it. Now, if they did it, everybody that's been putting up with, kill all Republicans or kill all Democrats or, any of that crap, let's riot, all of that goes away.
Good. We need that really bad. The media is the enemy of the people. That really.
Yes.
Is it true that Trump's uncle is Donald Trump's biological father?
Is it true that who is what?
Is it true that Trump's uncle is Donald Trump's biological father?
Well, I heard that Donald Trump's was Donald Trump's. So, they'll start in it. Let's put it this way: the opposition, the nasties, the people that hate Trump just because he's doing the job or for whatever reason,
or they're programmed.
They're going to do anything they can to cause problems, and I'd say that's BS on that basis.
Okay, here's another interesting question.
When you start laughing before you read the question, it kind of makes me want to go hide in the closet or something.
I just know this topic just goes, people go bonkers. Anyway, okay. Is it true that when someone talks about the flat Earth, it doesn't mean we are just a flat disk moving through space, but actually that what we know as the planet Earth is just a section of a larger planet that we do not have access to or even know about?
No. Now try this. The discus, or flat Earth, whatever you want to call it, is a holographic representation or ideological picture, okay, of a spherical dynamic, but it's on a flat plane. It's on a flat plane. It's really, and when you try to get your head around something that's flat, looks like a disc, can become spherical whenever it needs to. Well, I don't know if somebody's putting air in or letting it out, or
Is that holographic in nature or what?
well, from what I can gather so far, we are on a humongous spaceship,
Yeah,
and each
that
one
too.
of us, and each one of us,
I don't know what to believe.
in order to keep from going insane or just having our lights go out, if somebody gets bored enough, they turn it off. The lights go out. They die. They don't want us to do that. So they have a system of entertainment, and we're walking around in it now. People that supposedly die, they don't die. They just they grab hold of that and they put him in another one, and off he goes.
Transition or consciousness transition.
Well, I have described a thing called a Mobius strip. Take a loop of ribbon, separate it, turn it 180 degrees, reattach it. That becomes an infinity. You run around on that thing all you want and never get to the end of it because there ain't no end. Real simple. Okay, we are in supposedly in a similar sort of programming situation, and they're trying to keep us both sane, alive, and somewhat functional. I don't know what that means either. That wasn't explained. Over a voyage. Now, the speed of thought makes the speed of light look like a tricycle compared to a race car, literally. The manner in which ET operates their craft is mentally, okay?
Yeah,
if they get a picture, bingo, they're there. Within a matter of seconds, they can go clear across our galaxy. Now you're talking 1,000 light years. Ooh, okay. So what you have to bear in mind is that in order to entertain us, keep us occupied so that we don't start grabbing chunks out of the ceiling or something squirrely, or escape those little bitty pod thingamabobs that we're encased in. Oh, you don't want the inmates of the asylum getting in charge, do you? Well, so you can take everything with a grain of sand, and you're not going to find out the answers until we actually transition. Bear that in mind. And I've been told that. So, I'm just reiterating stuff that they say is.
Otherwise, the rest is speculation. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't speculate. I'll reiterate.
Okay.
But I'm not going to speculate. You ain't going to get me to tell you what's going to happen next week. That's not my job.
Okay. Well, next question. Drake, will the election officials in every U.S. county know how not to count or accept any crooked or corrupt Democratic mail-in ballots? And what if major Antifa and BLM riots happen after the election if President Trump wins the re-election, which he will?
Well, there's a couple of things going on here. I'm going to tell you that Trump's going to win. That's all I'm going to tell you. I ain't going to tell you what all is going to happen altogether, but
I agree with you.
There's a lot of people that think they started a civil war by playing one-sided games and tearing stuff up and rioting and everything. Well, it's kind of difficult because the other side hasn't showed up yet. Guess what happens after the election? We get to play with the bad guys. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. Now, they respectfully request that most of them should not be executed. So that means that you're going to find people strapped to telephone poles all over the place, or light poles all over it. And, them little strappy things that they put on you, that the cops put on you, like big old garbage bag ties.
Yeah.
Think about if they were
That's what they are.
Ooh.
Is that what you think they'll do?
Huh?
Is that what you think they'll do?
That's what I heard is supposed to happen.
But is that for the public to take care of them then?
I don't like the idea of seeing certain people naked, but
oh, you mean they were going to do it with them being naked?
They're going to take them. They're going to drag them out of their orifices, strip their clothes off of them, and put their hands behind them around a pole, and say, "Explain yourself if you can," and leave them standing there naked as a jaybird, as the day they was born. Now, it's kind of hard to be assertive, defensive when you ain't got no clothes on. That takes a lot of the defensive when you're strapped to a pole. Now, the other thing is, general population may not, absolutely not, mess them up. You can walk by and whiz on them and things of that nature that don't really do any damage until such time as they are collected. Now, I understand that there's going to be a heavy use of cattle cars in terms of collections. They're going to collect them all in cattle cars and take them to a certain place that is already being set up out in the southwestern desert.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That's a tent city you wouldn't believe.
Let's see. I can't straighten my head out.
Oh, and they're not going to be giving any clothes out there, so the bug can just have at them. Think about getting bit in certain places. Woo!
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Woo!
Oh, my word. Okay. Let's get on to another thought.
Okay.
Drake, what is your opinion of Lindsey Graham?
Lindsey Graham. He's only about half what he should be, and he could be a lot more and a lot better if he would go ahead and say it instead of fumbling around with it.
Because has he been changed over to the right side or the white hat side?
It's not a question of that. It's a question that he just does, he fumbles with stuff, and he needs to quit that and just come out and say the bad guys need to be corrected by whatever means necessary. I mean, if you do that sort of a thing, even once or twice, his political bank account would increase tremendously.
Well, we know he wasn't with a good guy in the past, but anyway.
Well, yeah, I know. He's changed his tune considerably since, and he's voting the right way. And so he's making the changes necessary. You cannot change. It's really difficult. If you really got something ingrained in you to change that rapidly. So it takes some time sometimes.
He's programmed. A lot of these people are programmed, and that's where,
Yeah, well, anyway.
It's hard to understand. Okay, next question. Okay.
Uh-oh.
We can talk about a lot of things. Why did it have to wait all this time for the many phone records being erased under Mueller?
Well, that investigation is ongoing presently, and the Department of Justice is busy sending a whole load of federal marshals to take them phones away so that we can use forensic science and Bring back the emails from the dead. Ooh. Let's go.
Okay.
This is going to get funner and funner as it goes on, I'm telling you.
Yeah, speaking of, I don't know why they are allowing agencies such as the FDA to continue to go out and blunder alternative health companies who
That's coming. That's part of that quantum wave, shock wave. It's also part of the program of time and situation change that's coming.
good,
It ain't quite here yet, but it'll get here.
good.
It's
Okay.
coming.
What we didn't see any promised indictments before Labor Day. So to a lot of Americans, it's seeming like drama. What do you say or think about that?
It's seemingly what?
We don't see any promised indictments before Labor Day as promised. I don't know who promised that.
No. Yeah, they changed that. They changed that. Went from Labor Day to the day after the election.
Okay. Well, that reminds me of this quantum financial thing. There was a next week, and then next week comes. Oh, next week, and then next week comes, and then next week, and then
It ain't
next
set.
week.
It's just not set up. It's not set up yet.
Yeah.
Well, there's two problems with it. Hold on, there's two problems with it. One is Moneyland, where you got a whole bunch of ultra super rich moving huge amounts of money around and causing problems in countries all over the world. Now, that's one. And nobody seems to have the whatever it takes to go ahead and try to stop them. Well, let's go the other step further. You're not going to have a truly quantum system because the ideology of quantum deals with harmonics, and there is no harmony in money. There you go. Now you know why it's next week and the day after, and tomorrow never comes, and
Oh yeah,
You like that one, I'll bet.
yeah, that's a real problem on our planet. It always has. Okay.
Gotta have fun with somebody, and I showed up.
Have you seen the picture? And I wish I could share it, but I haven't quite gotten to that point on a Mac to know why it doesn't go where I want it to go. But it is basically, I'm going to describe the picture, okay? You have this like lightning strike that looks like a column. It doesn't look anything like normal lightning. And then it has offshoots of all kinds of lightning. And it certainly was a fire starter.
That ain't natural neither.
Okay. That's what the person wanted to find out.
Let's put it this way. The most extraordinary electrical storms we've ever had have recently been being able to be checked in terms of lightning strikes and whatnot. Okay, even if they were in the past. Now that's something that's nice, but presently that would be the extreme electrical storm where you see all these lightning strikes. That would be the most Mother Nature is going to put out. What we just had ain't Mother Nature. It ain't natural.
Yeah.
They went from high energy beam weapons to lightning. Ooh.
Yeah, because I saw some people have actually caught the beams on camera, and the pictures have not been altered, and they were posted. And then next we have this lightning strike, which doesn't look anything like normal lightning.
Exactly. What I would like to do, if possible, is get with somebody who has a picture of the ship. Now that happened with the energy beam weapons. See the ship firing it. That would that'd make my day.
And it's not bad enough that they're using. Really, that would be awesome. And then we have. First, we get these guys doing the lightning strikes and the beams down, starting these horrific fires. And then we have people paid, I'm sure, going around with gasoline cans and starting more fires. And
I said, And I've said before, you're going to have to fight fire with fire, whether it's a riot or setting fires in the woods, doesn't matter. Get your gun out and start dropping these people.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Seriously.
I can't believe what they've done. That anybody could do that. It's just, ugh.
Yeah, they need to be set on fire like that dummy that caught himself, that protester that caught himself. Oh, that was great. It's happened to everybody with a Molotov cocktail. You should always, especially if it's possible,
Truly.
accidentally dump it down your pants.
That would do them some good. Yeah, find out what
Yo.
it's like for the animals and
Might wake them up.
out. And that doesn't even, I mean, the animals have homes too. So they're going to put their homes down. They won't have any place to go. And just like the people, it's not that different. So anyway, next question.
Okay.
We heard intel that Russia has satellite proof that the World Trade Towers were not brought down by airplanes and it was an inside job. Well, I've known that for years. But anyway, then why are we still waiting for the major arrests with 9/11? Well, it already passed the anniversary date.
Well, it's simpler than everybody thinks. 9/11 was an inside job. It had to be because of the manner in which it was conducted. Number two, the people responsible are way up in the stratosphere, looking down on all us incorrigible thingamabobs running around screaming about stuff, okay? Until we get full disclosure, and that's coming, and until we get to a point where we the people, that's everybody that cares about morality and doing things the right way and justice and stuff like that, until all of us stand up and say, that don't fly. You guys are lying. How about you guys go to jail first? Now we want your boss.
How many times do people have to be lied to before they realize and believe that they're being lied to?
Well, that's like that Moneyland book that I have had. It expresses the fact that the people that have the billions, trillions, and whatever of dollars and currencies, when they move that around, they take over governments. Yeah. Think about that very carefully. They buy Brazil. Mm-hmm. They have bought into the United States, but they can't actually get good control over it simply because there's too many people like us who object.
Yeah, we certainly do.
Yeah.
I object big time. Okay, next question. What happens if precious metals, minerals, or gems like gold, silver, etc. are put into a replicator?
You get the same thing out.
Is somebody trying to get rich here, or what?
Well, it could
won't
be.
matter at that point, but
he's going to put one nice sized gold coin in and program it. I want 1,000 of them. I know how this goes. Now, gemstones are worthless. Everybody needs to be aware of that. There's great piles of the buying for the gold, but there's great piles of gemstones at places that we want to buy your jewelry and stuff like that. Great. I'm talking about piles that are, like 10 foot tall of precious gems. They ain't precious. They don't have very much, or if any, value at all. The gold, that's got value. The silver, that's got value. So that's what and they take it and they weigh it and they estimate the size and quality and quantity of the gemstones, deduct that from the weight, and they pay for the gold.
What about crystals?
It don't matter what it's made out of.
No, I mean crystals.
That's what I'm trying to tell
you. That's gemstones? You're saying that they're worthless? Is that
yeah, I mean, it can be anything. Diamonds or whatever. Those things, they make artificial diamonds that you cannot tell, even an expert, from
that's true.
the natural thing. Yeah, well, what's that do to the value of diamonds? Right in the toilet. That's what it does. Well, other gemstones, the cat's eye, famous cat's eye, they make all that stuff. So,
well, there are certain I call them crystals that have healing properties.
Well, that might be different if used in that fashion, in that manner. Then their value might be totally different from all the other ones. then it would have some serious value.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I haven't heard of this place. Perhaps you know about it. I have questions about Mel's Hole in Washington. I never heard of
say
this.
that again.
Mel's Hole in Washington, the state of Washington.
Mills?
Mel's, MELS. Mel's.
Oh, Mills Hole. Okay, go ahead.
Is it a portal? And if so, where does it go to?
Well, I'll tell you what you can have fun with. Go visit and climb down in there and let me know what you find.
Okay.
There's a Magic Mountain, which is an island in the Baja Sea. Nobody screws with that. And I'm going to say this again. Nobody. It don't matter what kind of funky things you take with it. E.T. lives in it, among other, and they have dropped off some of their pets. Now, you got to remember that if you have if you have ET capabilities, you could have a Bigfoot as a pet. It might take a serious objection to you trying to climb down its little spidey hole. I mean, some people have come out of there, and one guy was an artist. He painted over 200 pictures of really freaky looking alien thingamabobs wandering around in there. So, you want to go play? Go down to that island.
Be my guest and go check it out.
Now, it's hard to get there. And the reason it's hard to get there, the fishing boats will throw you off the boat away from that island. You swim for it, mother.
Yeah, just swim the rest of the way. We don't want anything to do with it.
Now, that section, that area is a no-fly zone. Reason being is that all the electronics on an airplane or any other form of craft seem to have a problem with terrible failures. Some of it catches on fire. Some of it just stops working. I mean,
Where is this?
That's right down in the Baja Sea.
The Baja Sea. Okay.
It's called Magic Island. And believe me, I don't know if anybody wants to go there. I didn't go in there.
I wasn't familiar with that one. Are there a lot of places like that around the planet?
Oh, yeah. There's a big load of them. There's one in Washington and one in Oregon and one in right at the border, North Dakota. There's a big one in, there's a nice one in Florida. It really, really freaks me out because it's not a mountain. It's a hole in the ground. And nobody seems to know why, but when people climb down in there, they don't come back. Ooh, yeah, oops.
Put a rope down there first and see what happens.
Well, you got Dulce, New Mexico, and there are places down in Mexico where you got places in Mexico that have not been explored. Now, portions of certain huge caves down there are not screwed with. They got bars on it to make sure nobody goes in there. Why? Well, because if you go in there, you don't come back. Ooh. So anyway.
Maybe they've seen some nasty creatures come out too. Who knows?
Well, nobody knows if ET's eating everybody or what's going on in those tunnels. They do sometimes, and on occasion I've heard screams. Yeah!
Oh my God.
Well, think about Slimer deciding to be your buddy and give you a big underwear hug. Think about Slimer doing you a number. That'd make you scream, I guarantee you, because you get, you saw Ghostbusters. You don't want to get slimed. Nobody wants to get
slime.
Yeah,
Yuck.
It's green, too, and I heard it don't smell good.
Ew. Okay. What's going on? This is a state. What's going on in California? Why is this happening in California?
Well, California decided they were all out. They told some of these hugely, extremely, and extraordinarily rich money changers to go take a long walk off a short pier. We're done with you. You guys can leave now. And they threw the ones out that didn't want to go. Now, you don't antagonize Some people you just don't screw with, and those are some of those people. I don't screw with them. I know about them. I told their story on my last show, but they're going to have to figure it out themselves. You don't screw with the people that control countries. Think about controlling countries, and I'm talking about half of China is heavy involved in playing that game. Certain Russian oligarchs are, and we. We have a free country. You can do pretty much whatever you want. Think about how many are run through us. There's a bunch going to Iceland and Greenland, and you go into a certain country and you make an investment, and it buys you a certain amount of citizenship for a certain specific time. Real simple, not complicated.
Oh,
Or they just write out buy the friggin' country.
bam. Okay. Yeah. Or they buy an island or
Yeah. Well, if you are at you got quadrillions, heptillions, sextillions of money. Everybody's saying, well, if you get a bunch of billions together, you end up with $1 trillion. Then you're talking of money. No, much worse than what you think. And
no one person should
nobody
have
wants
that much money.
Well, nobody wants to get together as the countries of the world and stop it. All you got to do is make sure that these people have to show ownership of what they're doing. That's it. That's the only requirement, and it stops all that stuff dead in the water. And then their boat probably would sink because they'd have too much gold on it or something.
I don't know how anybody accumulates that kind of wealth. Anyway, is everyone leaving because of the horrific things that Governor Newsom and Pelosi have done to destroy the state?
That's part of it. The other part is that it's not business friendly, and not conducive to promulgation of a going entity of any kind. They'll tax you back into the Stone Age, and
That's a good one.
then it can take 2 to 5 years to get the business approved, so that you can do some. Man, I got bills to pay. I can't wait. Okay. Then the other thing is that they have a problem in terms of the manner in which they treat their employees. They treat them like illegal aliens, even though they say, "Oh, it's a sanctuary place." Well,
That's
guess what? Well, hold on a minute. A lot of people can go to jail over that.
Good.
Eh.
Okay, well, it ever returned to its old glory. I'm hearing my voice. I don't know. I'm hearing a double. Do you?
How about I back up? Did it quit?
I don't know. Yeah, it did. Oh my. Okay.
If I get too close, it
acts up. Wow, that's weird. Okay, will it ever return to its old glory? Was the question. California, then.
What's that? Oh, California. There's going to have to be major changes and reparations and a few other things that go on out there. Your Democratic leadership has proven what they're worth, and that's less than zero. Such as New York. Look at New York. Everybody's leaving. Some people stopped at the suburbs. They should have kept going to the state line, gone right over the state line, and built them a cabin in the woods or something. Same thing's happening. Even the illegal aliens are leaving California.
I'm going to go back to where I came from.
Yeah. Screw you guys. I'm going back to Mexico. You guys are
enough. Yeah, really. Pretty pitiful. Okay, next question. How is it that they have everybody across the country on blood pressure and diabetes meds? Maybe pre-calibrated machines and indoctrinated doctors, pill pushers. Remember back in 2000, they had the whole country on antidepressants. Well, I have an answer for that, Drake, that I am aware of. They actually lowered the numbers for the blood pressure, so that would when you do that, the borderline. When you do that, then you're going to prescribe the med sooner to more people and you should have at least 3 blood pressures taken before anything would even be prescribed in the first place. That doesn't happen. But anyway, that's
The VA has been trying to give me stage 2 diabetes for a long time, and I told them to take it and stick it because I'm not interested. Now, my physiology, I got a high blood pressure. I'm hyperactive. I don't act according to their textbooks. That means that my blood pressure and all that, it doesn't fit. But that's me. Now, if people want to help themselves, go to a health food store and ask them where the book is that teaches you how to do that stuff. It's got big lists in it and everything. You can consume foods all you want. Just do one thing. Find out what the ingredients are before you eat it. Number two, if it don't say meat and potatoes on your little meal that you're getting, you may not be getting you may not be getting what you think you're getting. All right.
You know what I do, Drake? I would always advise people when they buy any kind of supplement whatsoever that look for third-party testing and tested for or independent testing or third-party testing, or it doesn't have any heavy metals, things like that. Something that refers to the quality.
But they disguise all that. They hide that stuff. Modified food starch became took the place of a brain killer.
That's true.
So,
just like
here's the thing: learn to cook yourself.
They're calling aspartame something else too than what.
Well, but the other part is, don't cook your food in a microwave. Do not buy microwave food.
Thank you. And even when you go to a restaurant and eat out, you should ask them and say, "I don't want my food microwaved."
Yeah.
People don't think about that, but they do that there too. Plus, when you don't realize that you could be drinking all your water at home, you have a reverse osmosis or whatever. But then when you go out and you have coffee at wherever you have that, or drink water wherever, at the restaurant or whatever.
Burger King uses microwaves.
You're getting the fluoridated version of water too, unfortunately. So
well, we're lucky. We got well water, and I got a 2 micron Big Burka water filter. Takes everything out of everything.
There was a more on this about that went further, and it said, I think parasites have a lot to do with our problems, and once you kill them, the body can heal. And there's truth in that. We do have a lot more parasites. People don't like to talk about that very much. But a fungus is considered a parasite, like.
Yes, we do have a lot more parasites than people understand, for one reason. All the friggin' chemicals in a combination of our water and food.
Yep.
Okay. Then they don't think that's enough, so they want to put the icing on the cake, and they fly around in airplanes putting out chemtrails.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Yes, it's endless. It's endless. Okay.
It gets funky. If you really start looking into this, you're going to find out some things. Now, if you take what's called a sunscreen, and you can get those most places that sell plants or supplies and whatnot. If you put just a simple sunscreen over the top of your plants, it stops 90% of the chemtrail stuff. It is statically, chemtrail, little nodules of chemtrail shit are statically charged. So they'll stick to something. Guess what they stick to? And you don't have them in your tomatoes and your corn and your beans and your whatever. Didn't know that one, did you?
You put sunscreen on it? Is that what you said?
It's called sunscreen. It's a web. All right. And
okay. It's not real sunscreen. The poison that people put on it.
Anybody that don't use sunscreen of that type that she's talking about, it ain't good for
that's
you.
why I had to question that, because I'm going, what? Okay.
Anyway, the sunscreen that we get it's a fabric, okay, and it is made out of reinforced nylon and stuff. And what's neat about it is that it catches the little nodules that come from the airplanes up there called chemtrails.
What happened? All of a sudden you got quiet.
Blurry.
Something's happening because I'm not hearing you either.
Not hearing me?
Oh, now I did. Okay. Something happened there for a minute. I don't know what it was.
You're blurry. You're not clear.
Really? I look clear over here on my end. I don't know what's
I'm
going
clear
on.
on my end, but am I blurry?
No. Look
Huh?
fine from here.
Okay, well, you look blurry.
Okay.
Screen
I don't
resolution
know
is
why, but
Huh.
I don't know what's going on then.
I don't either.
Well,
I think somebody's messing with us. Let's
that
finish the
could be.
question.
That could be. Okay, well, I think this is the last set of questions we'll go through.
Okay.
With several groups of aliens all helping this planet, there's confusion as to what they are telling us. They all seem to have different agendas. Would you please give us an account of what really is going to take place from the fall solstice to the winter solstice? Is there anything in particular we can expect during that time? Obviously, election will happen, so that's a lot of big.
Well, you're gonna experience altogether about 5 or 6 ET races, basically. Okay, that's basically, and basically they have all the same agenda. They want to help. Now, by the idea of wanting to help, some have a pill that you can take that wipes out any kind of fun and games you got on a physiological basis, diseases and all that sort of thing. Another one's got a computer system that does the same thing. Another one may have an energy system that takes care of the problems. You name it. You're going to get about 5 basics of these things. And like I said, 5 different races because it's their technology and they'll come present it. It's a gift. Bear that in mind. I think that having somebody bring in super high-level technology that will assist us being better, I don't have a problem with that. Now, you're not going to have ETs coming in to take over. Believe me, the mess we have made of this nice little planet, they don't want no part of that. They don't want to get into politics. They don't like the idea that somebody is stupid enough to want to do that. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, anyway.
There's some of us humans that feel the same way, but we just don't have that power to stop them unless we unite as a group, and that's what.
Devices restart, install updates. Well, maybe
that's what the problem is.
Freaking Microsoft thinks they're in charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No.
Go Billy boy.
You know what they can do with themselves?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I think we answered some of these other questions last time, now that I'm looking at this.
Yeah.
And I don't want to keep going if that's the case.
Well,
so I guess that's... Yeah.
There's some left over each time. That's,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Okay. We'll bypass that one.
So are we all done already?
I think we're all done already. Yeah.
Oh,
well,
cool.
the good thing about that is that the videos can be processed faster if we don't go on over 2 hours or so on, which is easy to do sometimes.
I'm ready to go if you are. And,
I'm ready to go. It's
I
good.
love doing these shows. They're fun.
Yes, they are. And thank you for your time, Drake.
You're welcome. Thank you for yours. And hey, all you listeners out there, anybody that's got deep pockets, send this lady some cash. She could use it. How about that?
I'm working on the website, and it's they all got all these hidden costs and everything. But anyway, thank you for that, and thank anyone who is willing to help. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. So that's it for this week. It's a wrap. Hello, everyone. This is Gail of Gaia. I'm the founder and producer of Free Range. I do my best to bring you the best in guests and information that's very relevant to you today. I'm making this short little clip today in order to ask you to please contribute to the channel. I'm not monetized by YouTube. I don't sell any products, and I don't have Patreon. So I depend upon your contributions. And I know everyone's having a tough time, but even a small amount from a number of people would help tremendously. So thank you. Please contribute. And again, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I do need your help. Thank you.